Whoosh. Hey.
Hey.
Fell over a little bit there. We're talking about anime today.
We are.
Which is crazy, because,
mean,
when do we ever do that?
I mean, almost never.
What? Well, yeah.
So, what's the name of the anime?
Oh, I know the name of the anime. You don't even have to ask me what the name of the anime is.
But I'm going to ask you what the name of the anime is, because they need to know.
Okay, of course. Yeah, well, that makes sense. It is, I was reincarnated as the 7th prince, so now I have time to perfect my magic ability?
Close.
Okay.
And I would try it too, but I'm just gonna look it up. I was reincarnated as the 7th prince. You got that part. So I can take my time perfecting my magical ability.
I was really close.
You were really close.
Yeah, this is the... Oh, man. This is like...
Are you ready to talk about this?
When I watched the first episode of this show, I was like, I don't know if I want to review this show. And then...
But we always like to give a show, especially an anime, 3 episodes.
Well, actually, but what I should say is, like, I didn't even want to... After the first episode, I didn't even want to watch this show anymore.
I know.
And so that goes more with what you're saying with, like, we give it 3. No, my first thought was I don't want to review this.
Yeah.
My second thought was I don't even want to watch this whole show. And then you're like, no, we have to give it 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I hated the pilot of this show. I really fundamentally disliked the first episode of this show.
I did not have nearly as strong a feeling about the first episode as you did. I thought it was weird and kind of boring, but I did not hate it.
No, this show, so the first episode, it's the kind of show that I feel like is what all the people that don't watch anime think anime is. They
the ones that don't think it's just mech suits.
It's like weird stuff for weirdos. That's what the first episode feels like. So essentially, it's one of those anime where the main character is killed at the very beginning and then reincarnated. But this one, kind of like in the realm of, like, I got reincarnated as a slime or something. It's not like he came back like as himself. Like, he's come back as this totally other person.
Yeah.
His soul.
He's born into a new person. Yeah.
So sorry. Backtrack. So we see. Actually, the open was really cool. So we see through the eyes of him getting killed by this sorcerer of some sort, or like at a magic school.
Someone with a stronger magical ability and better breeding than he
had. Yeah. They made it real clear. They were being like real crappy about it. And they kill him, and while he's dying, he's like, oh my gosh, this magic is so cool. I just wish that I had learned more before I died. And so then he's like reincarnated as the 7th prince, and all of a sudden already has significant magical power as a baby.
From birth, he has all of his old memories.
Yes.
And so he has whatever magical ability he had as the person that he used to be.
Yeah.
Along with, like, all of the memories and all, like, the spells and all the things that he knew, but also born into a much more powerful baby body. Yeah,
baby, exactly. and so basically then the anime picks up and he's like a 10-year-old. Obviously he's got the mind of a full adult at this point. It's like the show, I don't even know. I don't know. I don't like it. So what, like it's crazy. The show is crazy. Like in the first episode, and this is not like unlike a lot of isekai where, like, in the very first episode, like, they meet up with like a demon of some sort and they have to fight him, and then the demon becomes like their familiar. Like that, it happens, and it's actually the demon like looks like Baphomet, and then he becomes like really cute. So I did like that. But
was that the first episode?
That was the very first. That's the thing. This show moves at the craziest pace. Yeah. I think the only show maybe that moves at a crazier pace is JoJo. But the show is like, by the end of the first episode, you get so much.
Yeah, that's true.
And I just remember being like, I don't know, man, this feels weird. But then the second episode happened, and I liked the second episode. And I felt really like, I don't know. And then, like, by the third episode, I was all the way in. Damn you, because I didn't want to watch this show. But this show is like...
So like a lot of these shows, your main character is so OP. Like, he's super overpowered.
I would say maybe the most overpowered of any of the overpowered protagonists from the very start.
But his whole thing is like he is so excited to learn magic. He's so excited to like know more, to be able to do more, and that's just his thing. So like even like, you know, when he's fighting someone really powerful, you know it's like one of those where you know he's gonna win, but his reactions are funny. It feels like more of a comedy than a lot of them, because like his reactions are just so funny because he's so excited. It's like someone is like, you know, sending out something that like could be burning him, or at one point he stuck his finger like into a like really deadly spell just because he wanted to know what it felt like. Yeah. You know, like what was the one that we watched? Oh, it was Apothecary Diaries, where she's like, ooh, poison.
Yeah. It is like that. Yeah, no, he 100% like is overpowered, and it is very funny. But like the show is like, I'll be honest, like I am really trying to get around to whether or not I can recommend it or not, because I feel like up until the final, like, 4 to 5 episodes, I literally was in my head, I'm not going to recommend this show. And then because...
Like, you were enjoying it, but you're not, like...
So, like, let's just, like, get the cat out of the bag. It's like, so, like, over-the-top sexual.
Yeah, well, so, yeah, like you said, the main character is a 10-year-old. Yeah. Even though he has the memories of this adult, like... Honestly, even the adult was like kind of stunted. Like you know, he didn't seem to care about.
We don't really know much about it. We don't even know how much of an adult he was. He might have been like a teenager.
Yeah, but either way, he only cared about magic.
Yeah,
like there was nothing else in his life that he seemed to care about. Yeah, from the little that we get to know. But yeah, your main character is still 10-year-old boy, and so many of the female characters are way too sexually aggressive with him.
They're so into him. Like, they're all really, like, fawning over him in a way that is not only inappropriate, but weird. I will say the one saving grace, as the first few times it happens, nobody mentions how weird it is. But then later, they start, like, other people will be like, is that kind of weird that you would feel that way?
And I don't know if that's better or worse that they address it. But the other thing is that, like, so not only is it inappropriate because they are acting sexually aggressive with a 10-year-old, but, like, even if, like, you know, he had the mind of an adult, like, he's still, like, not into it. He doesn't want them touching him. And, like, yeah, it's so uncomfortable every time it happens. Yeah. You don't get desensitized. You're just not, every single time it happens, it's like, oh, cringe.
It's so weird.
Cringe.
Yeah, like, it's like in, like, Tsukimichi, like, you know, he's like an adult guy. So when that stuff happens, it's like, oh, LOL, anime. But in this, it's like, guys, this is a weird look. And honestly, like, it really, like...
He's 15 in Tsukimichi, right?
No, he's older than 15.
Yeah, no, he was 15. He was a second year in high school.
Honestly, though, like, there's even a bit, he's 10, and he's little, and it's weird. Yeah. It's all super weird, okay?
Yeah, we're talking, like...
And well, this is the damn problem.
We're not talking about high school, we're talking about a child.
The rubbers hit the road.
For sure, for us, it's like, no, just don't do this.
So
I don't know. I think it would feel awkward for anyone watching it.
Yeah, and that's the main problem with it. Is it's like it's real creepy in that regard, and that makes me not want to recommend it. That being said, it's got some of the coolest action I've seen in an anime in a while. Like maybe the last time I saw action this cool and this amount of it was Shangri-La Frontier. Like, and even this, there's so much like 3D action in it. Like and that's what like throws me off about the show is it clearly has a huge budget. So like it must have been like either a fairly popular manga or they just went all out.
I think it was a pretty popular manga.
And so like, you know, and like I don't want to be too, it's weird, you know, we live in an era now where like I don't want to be too sensitive to that stuff, but I also can't not be sensitive because it's crazy.
I think in this case, like, it's hard not to be sensitive to it. Like, yeah, I mean,
even if it's comedic effect.
There are certain things, you know, like in Shokugeki no Soma.
Yeah.
Like, when people eat the food and all of a sudden, like, they're naked. And, like, that's one thing, you know, it's like, I get it for people that aren't into anime and they go, what the heck are you watching?
Yeah.
You know, but like that one, that's not, you know, it's weird and slightly inappropriate, but also, like, it's funny.
Yeah.
This is not, like,
no.
This
is crazy. Yeah, no, it's like, super bizarre. And that's why, like, I'm almost like, do we want to talk about this show? Because, like, I feel like there's nothing you could say that it doesn't come off just uncomfortable.
I mean, the thing is that, like, that's not a big part of the show. It's just how certain, like, characters react to him. And like, all the characters, because he's so powerful and so cool, they all react to him, like, in a way that you wouldn't normally react to a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
But the inappropriate stuff is just so cringe.
Well, it's stuff that, you know, I talked about this earlier. It's the stuff that they usually appropriate to people that are older teenagers or adults in an isekai, but now it's to somebody who's, like, way too young for that to be a thing.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it freaking creepy. But aside from that, the action is dope. You know, there's this amazing arc that goes into the finale where, like, he meets up with this, like, assassins guild, and he just wants to, like, test out their powers, and he's so OP. Like you said before, like, he just wants to try things, and sometimes, like, you know, an attack will come, and he's like, I wonder if I should dodge this or not, because he's really interested in it, and, like, and I loved all that stuff with these and I love how much, like, he scares people because he's so powerful and so, like, and so excited about, like, fighting. And there was also a great episode about him learning how to enchant swords. And the other thing I really love, sorry, I'm just gonna go. The other thing I really love, and that I think was my favorite part about this show, is, like, his older brother, the second prince, is, like, so positive and so loving towards him that, like, it was nice. It was like how you wanted Itachi to be with Sasuke. You're like, oh, this is nice.
All his siblings love him, and like, the best part was, like, his older brother, you know, at one point is like, you know, Dad, he should totally be in the line for succession, like, and like, you know, and the king is all like, yes, we'll do that, and you know, Lloyd, our seventh prince, is like, nah.
So much happens in the show. It's only 12 episodes, and it's like, it's like, did I watch, like, 40 episodes of a show?
Yeah.
Like, everyone just feels like a lot.
Yeah, it's a really tough one, because, like, we really did enjoy it overall. And like you said, the fights were really cool. And I really liked, while he was fighting, I loved the way he analyzed things.
Yes.
And I love the way that he works with Grimm, his familiar, how, like, sometimes Grimm is, like, you know, the little, like, animal, little cutesy animal that he changed himself to fit in more. Sometimes he lives in Lloyd's hand.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. That was the second episode got me, because he realized, like, to do a special, like, demonic, like a demon magic, he had to have, like, essentially be speaking with two mouths at once. And so, he put him in his hand, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah. You know, and there's so much cool stuff that happens in this. And, like, all the characters are, like, they're really, like, interesting. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's the weirdest show, because I'm like, oh, man, can I even tell anyone to watch this without seeming like a weirdo? But at the same time, like, so much cool stuff happens, and it's not an easy anime.
It's not. Yeah, no. Like, in addition to like the inappropriate stuff that happens with Lloyd, like, some of the other characters are dressed inappropriately.
Inappropriately.
But like,
the poison girl?
they have they give you a reason for it. But once again, the show brings up, like, how inappropriate it is, which I again don't know if that makes it better or worse.
Well, it's really, like, it is kind of problematic, because the thing is, like, the poison girl, for instance, like, they did the thing that they did with Silent in like in Metal Gear, where, like, you know, she's basically wearing nothing because she breathes through her skin in Metal Gear, but Silent is, like, clearly an adult woman. The poison girl in this,
I don't think she's that much older than Lloyd.
She looks pretty young, and like, once again, I'm just like, oh man, show, like, what are we doing here? You know, like, can I even talk about this show? But then the reason we watched the show is it was on so many lists of cool new shows of 2024. And, like, there was a lot of cool stuff. Like, the final villain in this season was awesome.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, so anyway, that's why, like, this whole, like, hem and haw, like, you can decide if you want to watch the show or not. We've warned you if this stuff is going to be too creepy, but also there's a lot of cool stuff. It's a challenge. I mean, that's the other thing, too. I feel like it is the most challenging isekai we've watched, because I think generally isekai, the point is that they're easy.
Yeah.
You know, but this reminded me of, like, the stuff in almost like the, you know, remember when like Jiraiya would always try to get like Naruto to do sexy jutsu?
Yeah.
And that was like,
that always felt weird.
Very weird and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like that, but like more in this show. And so I feel like, you know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's.
This is the first isekai we watched that was a reincarnated one, right? Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the first one where the main character died in the first episode.
Yeah, I think so. I think, because usually they just fall through a portal.
Yeah, of the ones we've watched.
Yeah, because I think we tried the first episode of Slime and we just weren't into it. I think you're right.
We might need to try that again because it's
really popular. Yeah. No, I wouldn't be against it. I remember
you don't like Slime.
Well, it's that like it just I felt like so sad for that character to go from a human to slime is like wow, that sucks.
It's like 5 seasons in now or something.
I know.
People love it. So there's got to be like something, you know, he's probably accomplishing a lot as a slime.
Yeah. No, we've seen people like almost die, like, you know, obviously the one we just watched, No Longer Allowed in Another World, and also Platinum End, which isn't an isekai, but that sort of he also like tried to end his life, and so we have seen, but you're right, we haven't watched a lot of them of when they're fully resurrected. Well, I mean, Solo Leveling.
Oh yeah, I guess,
but it's also not an
isekai. Yeah.
That's the thing. They're not always. Yeah, they're kind of not always isekai.
Yeah,
they're sort of.
He didn't exactly die, and it's not exactly an isekai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He kind of did die though, didn't he? It's hard to say. I don't know.
He died-ish.
Just look. I'm feeling better. Yeah. No. Okay. So.
Watch it with the warnings,
Anna loves
I guess.
it. It's Anna's favorite show of the year.
No, it's
she highly recommends. She thinks it's definitely the most woke show of the year. You've been
like adequately warned.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to check it out, be ready for how uncomfortable you're going to feel. Like certain things, you're just going to feel like you want to scrub yourself clean. Like, I just need to scrub my brain of that.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a...
There's also so many interesting things.
I feel like it's some like kind of like challenging German art film, and you're like I don't feel comfortable with any of this, but I also like there's some.
But the art of it is so
like that's the like and speaking of art, like his when he does this attack, and he's got all those like light things around him,
his
like
defensive wall.
God, it looks so cool. Yeah. And there's this scene where like this guy, this demon's like chucking stuff at him, and he's flying through this castle, and I was like, am I watching Demon Slayer? Like, this is amazing. Like, what am I watching?
Honestly, and this is one of those shows where your main character is the most interesting character. Like, the other characters are all interesting. They have great stories and development, as you know, even within the few episodes that there are. But your main character is just such an interesting character, and his personality is. You want to keep watching because of it. Like, yeah, no, he's great. He's a really cool character. And like I said, like his friendship with his brother and his friendship with his familiar, like all this stuff is really cool. And I really like that his character he's not like a Naruto or Luffy. He's actually, you said this, which I thought was really astute. You actually thought he felt a little more like Orochimaru from Naruto. He's totally an Orochimaru because, you know, like Orochimaru was, you know, he wanted to live forever, but it was largely so that he could learn all the magic. Yeah. And that, you know, main character, Lloyd that's all he wants. He wants to learn all the magic. Yeah, and he's really poised in the middle of battle, and he's very calm, and he doesn't freak out. Like, he's very cool. But, like, I also love, you know, his brother loves him. He loves his siblings. Yeah. Like, he totally accepts that this is his new life, and like, and that, you know, and that he's just a child in this life, and he's totally cool with all that going on, and he gets to take his time, like, perfecting his magical ability.
Well, it's funny that he mostly just wants to, like, read books on magic, and he gets sort of tossed into these, like, action scenarios.
Well, what was it, episode 2 or 3, where he went flying out there to go on an adventure. He wanted to go to a dungeon.
Oh, because he wanted to go to a dungeon. Yeah. Oh, see, I actually thought that was interesting you bring that up, because that was the episode that I started liking. The second one, he made himself look like a teenager.
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to be a bigger part of the show.
Yeah.
That, like, he was going to live... I honestly was like, oh, this is the show. He's going to live a double life as this teenage adventurer, but actually be a little boy. And, like, nope. He's just like a little boy, like every other episode after that.
And he did that because he was interacting with someone new, but he couldn't be who he was because he'd be recognized. Yeah. You know, because he's a prince.
Yeah, no, this show is really challenging. I mean, like,
so we recommend-ish.
Yeah, it's I would say that, like, if any of this stuff the perv stuff we talked about, would bother you, then don't bother.
Yeah, don't.
If you can sort of, like, go, like, okay, like, that was just how they decided to do the humor in this show.
Yeah.
And you can sort of get over it, then it's a cool show.
Because, again, they know they're doing it, and they know it's inappropriate, and I really don't know if that's better or worse.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse that they acknowledge how inappropriate it is. It's just uncomfortable. But the show, there are so many good, interesting things that, like, I want to recommend it, but I also have to, like, only recommend-ish.
Well, and I was thinking, too, about Demon Slayer, how, like, you know, like, the kind of the joke now is every time Tanjiro takes off his shirt, he's like a little bodybuilder. But, like, nobody's, like, those guys are, like, full-blown, like, you know, what, 15, 16, 17-year-olds, and, like, but nobody ever even, like, makes comments about them. There's no, like, weird... There's like, no pervy stuff at all. No. Which is amazing for a show that its best season was in the red light district.
I mean, pretty much, like, the perviest you get is Zenitsu, like, you know, wants a girlfriend.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
But even that, it's like, it's innocent. It's very innocent.
Yeah, he's like Diet Sanji.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. Like that's fantastic.
A less offensive version of Sanji. Alright, guys, well, I don't know what the title is again. What is it again? I was
reincarnated as the seventh prince, so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability.
Look at that. Amazing. It's a show.
It is.
It's got its good things. It's got its problematic things. Yeah. So watch it at your own peril.
Yeah.
And it's on. We watch it on Crunchyroll. And I am not going to recommend it.
Yeah.
But I'm also like not gonna say it's bad because it's not.
It's not bad. It's not a bad
So
yeah.
Somehow the last show that we had to do a trigger warning for
That's true.
because every joke was about taking your own life. Somehow that we were like
easier to recommend.
Yeah,
than this.
Exactly.
Far easier to recommend.
What is happening? We are like we're through the looking glass, people. I don't know what's going on here.
Wonder what we'll watch next.
Oh, I'm frankly very scared about what we're going to watch next.
I think we just need to watch that show with the girl who's a deer. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, my dear friend. Yeah, maybe we will do that next. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We don't want to promise anything.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Bye.